You don't know nothing about echidnas, my boy.
Dude, I wrote like an essay on an echidna when I was in elementary school because of Knuckles.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Did you include the most important part?
No, I don't remember any of it. I was in like third grade. I don't remember what's the most
Oh.
important part about an echidna, Joe.
An echidna has I believe let me look this up.
Is it
Hold on.
a giant?
No. Even better.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us on another steaming hot edition of Cup of Joe's. I'm your host, Joe Brown, joined by my best friend, Joe Parian, and this is episode 72 of Cup of Joe's. Joe, comma Joe. That's how that sentence works. And we are going to recap the Game Awards from last week. There was a fun time. I thought Joe and I had a good time watching it, but apparently I wasn't texting Joe enough throughout the evening.
You weren't. You weren't at all. Let's go back to it. Let's do the play-by-play.
Oh,
Joe Brown.
Why do you always pull up the text?
Because that's where they lie.
That's where they tell the truth. Ooh, got him.
Got him.
Get it? Listen, I would like to say that we are recording this while I'm watching football, and it's taking me away from football because I'm a business owner now. I need to be involved in, I need to pay attention to every game, Joe, because, this is important to me. So that's how important you are to me, is that I'm putting my business ownership to the side for this podcast right now.
Okay.
Do you just not remember?
Whatever, man.
That I'm partial owner of the Green Bay Packers now? Do you just not remember?
Me and you have never talked about this. I found out from an Instagram post, but me and you have not personally talked about this.
Yeah, so you saw the Instagram post, so you're aware. You're knowledgeable.
I thought you were just kind of goofing on us.
What do you mean, how did I go? It cost me $300. That's no joke.
How?
What?
Not the okay.
I'm a businessman,
sure.
Joe. I'm an owner now. Okay. Listen. Okay. I'm gonna need now that we're on the subject of money. I'm gonna need a Christmas present from you, Joe. Okay. And since our friendship is important to you, and money is no object.
Whoa! What?
I'm gonna need a present that I just posted in the Discord. Okay, you just do me a favor.
This thing looks absolutely dog water.
What are you talking about? It's an arcade for the listeners at home. Joe, explain it.
It's the Ninja Turtles in Time arcade cabinet, but the graphics all over it look like utter trash.
Yeah, it's probably the original one from the 90s.
This is going on Instagram. Oh my God.
I'm just saying Christmas is right around the corner, Joe, and I would appreciate it. That's all.
$600?
How much is our friendship worth?
I don't know. What's my Christmas gift then, Joe Brown, if money is no issue?
Picking you up from the airport. How about that?
That doesn't cost $600.
Okay, but your Uber will.
My Uber would not, because someone else would just pick me up from the airport.
Okay, fine. See how I strategically dodged around you looking up our text so we can continue on in the conversation? Boom, that was strategy.
No, I already looked it up. I decided not to put you on blast like I always do because, you don't text me a lot.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, so now that Joe's going to get me this arcade cabinet for $600, we can move on to the actual topic at hand, which was recapping the Game Awards 2021, hosted by Jeff Keighley. Finally had a crowd again, as last year, obviously, all the restrictions and everything, there was no crowd. So that was exciting to have the live audience and people clapping and stuff like that. But we are going to go over the biggest announcements, because the winners, we don't really need to recap the winners because, you know, like that's old news, that's last year's news, and quite honestly, Metroid Dread got robbed anyway, so let's move on, Joe.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry. I what was it? What was the hashtag that we texted each other?
Hashtag, what was it? I gotta look it up now again.
Got shorted or something like that?
Hashtag shorted.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Like, what? Okay, so let's start that. So Jeff Keighley at the end of the night announces oh my god, what the hell was the name of the game, Joe? It Takes Two. It Takes Two.
It Takes Two.
So he announces It Takes Two wins, and then his buddy Joseph goes on, and, you know, maybe we should have him on the podcast, actually. Since he's a fellow Joe, but that's a side discussion. So he comes on, accepts the award, yada yada, and then at the end of it, he's signing off. He's like, "Hey, if a game you wanted to win didn't win, why don't you let us know on the YouTube comments with the hashtag got shorted," or whatever he said. And so he's like,
said wherever.
And so he's
anywhere you could post it.
So like you closed out your show saying like, "Hey, if you think we're awful at our jobs and chose the wrong things, like just let us know publicly," and you made a hashtag for it. That seemed very weird.
I know, it is dumb. So dumb.
Okay, thank you.
I could not believe like, so when he said that, it was like right at the end of the night, and Joe Brown you called me, and it was like 11:30, and I was already like in bed at this point. Jordan had fallen asleep, so I was like, he called me, and I texted him and say, "Sorry, Brown, it's night time," and the only thing he responds to me is Metroid Dread hashtag got shorted.
Yeah, because okay, I remember now. I was because I called you because I was just going to say that sentence out loud and hang up. That's what that's what my plan was. Do that. Yeah. So anyway, let's actually get to the announcements. So we have the 29 biggest announcements from the Game Awards 2021, and this is an article on Polygon.com. So anybody can go into Polygon and recap. This doesn't show off everything because if we did, we'd be here forever. And the Game Awards would also be forever, which was the case because I think I also texted you, Joe, like the Game Awards was just like the trailer awards. Like it was just like 3 hours of not. We
both texted each other that. I think I said it to you, and you were like, I was like, what is this? Is this the Game Awards or the Trailer Awards? And you're like, more like the Trailer Awards. What?
Yeah, it was. It was just brutal, and I understand because like there has been some really cool announcements over the years, so now everybody's trying to get a piece of that pie with their Game Award announcements, but it's like. Sometimes like less is more, you know what I mean? It's starting to turn into the long drawn out presentations and award shows that like it was trying to be different from at first, you know what I mean? And like the one I saw a tweet, it was like Jeff on stage is like, "I'm so excited for this project. They've been working 15 years. This is so much the passion to show," like, and he's just like constantly just praising how awesome of a thing it is. And then it was like that weird Korean dancing child video game with like the VR or whatever. Yeah. It's like, wow, Jeff, you're really selling these things. So that's one recommendation I would have next year is make it a little shorter. Let's move on a little bit. Cut a half hour out.
I definitely thought it was going to be done by 10, and I was sadly mistaken.
Yeah. You know what, Joe? I totally forgot how I wanted to introduce the show too. I was thinking about it like all weekend, and I was like, "Oh, I got this." I was gonna say, "What's up, all you Genshin Impact gamers?" Because the lady,
yeah,
that poor lady that had never heard of Genshin Impact before.
Yeah.
How do they not go over that? Like, you know what I mean? How do they not just in rehearsal, like, don't tell her who wins, obviously, because of spoilers, but like, okay, let's run down. This is where you're going to stand here, and then just read the 5 names. How did that conversation never take place?
I don't know. I have no idea. Like, there's something that always has to happen at the Game Awards. Like, there's always that one thing that happens. Because
that poor lady got memed into oblivion that night.
Well, that is the risk you take by being on a very very watched program. Like, you have to be ready to be memed on at any given time. Any given time.
All right,
dude.
So before we run through all these lists, let's just the one thing that stood out to you that wasn't an award, oh, this guy, I was happy this guy won, I don't know, directing or whatever. Like one announcement that stood out to you the most that like was your takeaway from the Game Awards.
The thing that keeps like there's a few things that like have stuck with me after watching the Game Awards. It's the new what is it? It's the new Sonic movie. Mm-hmm. That I keep like wanting to rewatch it because that trailer looked amazing. It's the Hellblade, the second Hellblade game. That game looked cool.
Crazy. Yeah.
It looked crazy. And then there were like the Justice League game. They've been showing a lot. Like we've seen trailers for it before, but this one looked really interesting because it involved the Flash, which I thought was always funny because the Flash is always like a funny character from the Justice League where they like try to shoot him and he goes, "You're better off just mailing me the bullet." And I was like, "Dang, Flash, got him." Got him, Flash.
Dang, Flash, got him. Direct quote, Joe Farian.
He got him though. He definitely got him. Another one was Slitterhead, which is like that spooky Japanese game.
Yes, no, thank you. Is what
that
I
game
said.
looks. That game looked cool.
No and shot. Then, I would play that.
Definitely gonna play that. And then they also, I was really excited. They showed some Gollum game, man. That looked. I've been waiting to see something about that.
It was all CG though, no gameplay or anything, you know. So.
Oh yeah, it was all in-engine stuff, no gameplay, and like that was like my big ones. Like those are the big things I constantly think about. So those are what I took away. There were some things that I saw and I was like, this is I always find myself in like these new game announcements, especially when it's stuff that I don't really care about. Be sitting there being like, all right, let's hurry this up. We're going for way too long. I'm ready to see the next thing because I don't care about this. I don't care. But I don't know.
I mean, to me, the choice is pretty obvious, Joe. It Takes Two may have won Game of the Year. Might have been the big winner of the night. But the real winner of the Game Awards was Sonic the gosh darn Hedgehog, baby. Not only did we get a fantastic trailer for the new Sonic movie that's going to be coming out, we also got a brand new Sonic game shown off where we saw like just a little snippet of it. If you remember that Sonic Symphony concert from forever ago, we saw like just a little bit of a thing. We're like, oh, is it going to be Sonic Adventure 3? Like, you know, what's going to happen? Like, oh, what if it's an open world Sonic game? And then we actually get Sonic Breath of the Wild. And it's just like, my head exploded watching that trailer. I was like, oh my God, this is finally a Sonic game, a 3D Sonic game that's not on rails where you only move forward and slightly left and slightly right. Like, you know, I was so excited. So Sonic was definitely the winner of the night for me.
Yeah, he definitely took it. But like my main question about that is I don't know if you remember the trailer. I just like opened it up real quick. Is this going to be a Sony exclusive? Like, is Sonic only going to be out for the PS4 and the PS5? Like, is that the whole thing about it?
I have no idea. I mean, that'd be like pretty silly because Sonic does pretty well on Nintendo products, you know.
Well, but like,
plus all the Sonic games are on Steam and Epic Game Store too.
Yeah, but like, I think it's going to be time locked only on the PlayStation for a little bit because the beginning of the trailer just shows the PlayStation logo, and then it says, let me get to the end of it real quick. Just jumping.
Yeah, just because I feel like people would be talking about that, and also I feel like it would say like Sony exclusive or something. Like just having the logo means maybe that's where the footage was captured from, was on a PS5.
But at the end, it still says like PlayStation and stuff, and the trailer even says Sonic Frontiers, the Game Awards 2021 trailer, PS5, PlayStation 4.
So it might be. I mean, I could be wrong. I didn't see anything on it, so we'll have to find out.
Yeah, but Sonic the Hedgehog did take the awards away more than anything else.
He was eating a chili dog, Joe.
Dude, I was ready for it.
Oh, it was amazing. And I just love that guy, that like random Eggman henchman that just loves Eggman so much. Like, you know.
I thought it was great.
I wish somebody loved me as much as that guy loves Eggman.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
I think the one thing I took from the Sonic the Hedgehog movie is the part where he's like, Eggman is like yelling at him and he goes, "I love your lattes, they're amazing." Like I think there's like a line he says to him at one point. So it was very fitting that he became a barista and was serving coffee. It was very funny to me.
That's so good. Okay, so let's get in. Let's run through this, Joe. All right, because there's a lot of stuff. We're not going to spend the same amount equally on every topic, obviously. But like, why don't you get us started with the most important announcements from the Game Awards?
Are you talking about the winners or the actual announcements? Because I think I got a little confused when you asked me what my takeaway was, and then you were talking about awards. Do you want me to talk about?
No, I wasn't talking about awards. I said Sonic won the night. He didn't actually win an award. I wasn't talking about the awards.
He won our hearts. That's the award that matters.
Exactly. So. Well, if you remember the show rundown, we weren't talking about the awards, Joe. We're talking about the announcements.
Yeah, you're right. My bad. Well, something that I thought was really cool, I think I even texted it to you, because a while back I don't remember which episode we talked about it, how Alan Wake was switching from being an Xbox exclusive to becoming, I think, like an everything exclusive or just coming to PlayStation. And I was like, man, there's got to be something big in the pipeline if they're doing something like that. It's like a silly reason just to randomly do that. And they announced the second Alan Wake game. It's been like 10 years since the first one, and they're giving us a second one. I've never played the Alan Wake game. It looks interesting because I don't know if you've ever like heard or played them, Joe, but a lot of that game has to do with like a supernatural element of this writer who's trying to like escape this town, and instead of using like an actual gun, he has an actual gun, but he ends up using light to like kill these monsters because like the darkness is what like is like taking over him. So he uses light to like get through the situation.
Right.
So that was more of like an action adventure-esque type game. It didn't have a lot of horror aspects, and they announced that this one will be more of a horror survival game, and it looked great from what we saw from the Game Awards.
Yeah, it definitely looked cool. It like fit the theme of the first game. I haven't played it, but one of my friend Ted, it's one of his favorite games of all time. So I've heard the glowing reviews about it. And I think it's not coming until 2023 though. So it is on the back burner for a while. So we're gonna have to wait to hear on it. But that's a big deal that one got announced. And when they announced the Alan Wake remaster this year, I was like, okay, something's.
Yeah, I think we both said that.
Yeah. Another game, as we run down this list on this Polygon article, the top one is Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League. Now this, if you remember last year, it was shown off, I think, at that DC Fandom event online, where they had like a CG, they had like a trailer with the characters and stuff, and we didn't see gameplay. And now we've actually seen gameplay and story elements, and you're fighting against the Flash, and it seems pretty cool. Like, I wasn't really in on the Suicide Squad game when we saw that first trailer, but after this one, I became a lot more interested.
Yeah, it shows a lot of the game, not a lot of the game, but it shows a lot more interesting things of the game, like especially that there's going to be like some of the classic Suicide Squad comedy, as well as like the powers of some of the characters that we haven't really seen before. Before we started the podcast, me and Joe Brown were talking about how in like the movies for Suicide Squad, Captain Boomerang is in the movies. He just has boomerangs that he throws. Mm-hmm. Where in reality, Captain Boomerang has the ability to also teleport and do a lot of other things. And it looks like this game is incorporating a lot of that because he looks crazy in the game trailer, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, he seems pretty important too, you know?
Yeah, well, because I think he's like a big idiot, but he's also like one of the main Suicide Squad like members. Like I still think Deadshot is kind of the leader, but Captain Boomerang's there. You know, he's doing his best.
Yeah, and it's an interesting take because obviously, they're going to have a hurdle for players to overcome to be rooting against the Flash. You know what I mean? To be trying to beat the Justice League members because we like them and they're typically seen as the heroes. So I am interested in whatever that like narrative story they're going to go for that makes you hate the Justice League and actually root for the bad guys over them. Because in the 2 Suicide Squad movies, you were kind of, for the most part, you were kind of taking down other bad guys instead of taking down good guys that were bad. You know what I mean? So I think that'd be like an interesting story to handle.
But yeah, but you kind of said it like right there. They're now bad. They're killing people. So you gotta take them down.
I know, but usually you're not used to rooting against the Flash or Superman or Batman. Like it's gonna be a weird feeling as experiencing it.
Yeah, no. I got you.
Okay.
I'm excited about taking down the Justice League. Someone needs to put Superman in his place.
Yeah, finally. He's had it too good for too long.
Yeah, he's just out there like doing all the pretty ladies. I'm Superman. Oh, look at me.
Look at me. Also, it's like I saw a meme that because you know how Tony Hawk always tweets that people don't recognize him or whatever, they just think he looks like Tony Hawk. That someone was like, Tony Hawk is living proof that none of us would think Clark Kent is Superman. Because everyone always says, he looks just like Superman. Why doesn't anyone say it? It's like, well, Tony Hawk looks like Tony Hawk, and nobody ever thinks he's Tony Hawk. So
there you go. Right.
Anyway,
right there, baby.
Anywho, so Star Wars Eclipse is up next. That was another huge announcement revealed at the Game Awards. Being developed by Quantic Dream, who's the studio that made Detroit Become Human, which is a really fun game. And you could just see like the animations in the trailer and like the way people looked in it. It was going to be a gorgeous game. You'd assume it would be pretty narrative based because Quantic Dream is behind it, right? So that one, a lot of people are excited for Star Wars Eclipse.
Do you think there's going to be any space fighting for you to do yourself? Like, I know a lot of people when they think about Star Wars, they think about lightsaber battles. They think about like Sith Lords, and they think about Jedis and stuff. And they also think about like one-on-one space flight battles. Do you think that those will be in this game?
Okay, so I'll say yes with the caveat that it'll be there, but because of who Quantic Dream are as developers, like it'll probably be through QuickTime events. You know what I mean? Because like that's how their games are. So I think there will be some space battles that you have to hit left really quick to dodge something, or hit X to shoot something, or whatever. But I don't think it's going to be in the way that maybe you sound like you're kind of hoping for.
Yeah, no, I got you.
I don't mean to burst your bubble, Joe.
No, you're not bursting my bubble. It's just a conversation, baby. Just a conversation, baby.
Okay, that's fine. Up next, we had Wonder Woman that really didn't show off much. It showed off like a really cool trailer. I kind of explained it to Joe earlier that it was like Wolverine at E3, where it was kind of just a trailer, disassociated from everything else. Not like it was gameplay or story or anything. Like it was kind of just like an announcement that they were announcing that a Wonder Woman game is being made. And it, the character model looked cool, so there's not really much else to go off of besides that.
Yeah, and then we saw this at E3, this next game at E3 as well, but this time we actually got some gameplay. The Forspoken game where it was about a girl who gets pulled from her world and then I can't remember what attaches itself to her, but it's like a magic like
bracelet or
whip
something,
or a
right?
bracelet. Yeah, I thought it was a scarf that like became a bracelet and stuff. So like the two people who voiced the main characters and that kind of presented it and showed some gameplay, and it looks really cool.
Yeah.
So we got a release date for that and everything. It's coming out May this 2022. I'm sorry. And that looks pretty fun.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah.
will say, Joe, that like the more I see of Forspoken, the more interested I am in it. Like obviously, one, it's Square, so I'm already interested from the get go there. But like, if I remember correctly, our E3 conversation on it was kind of weird because like, oh, it's an isekai, it's like this weird, she's a regular person going back into this other alternate universe. We were confused. We already knew it looked visually stunning from the beginning, but we were just not really sold on the concept. But the more and more I've seen over these last couple months of different trailers and things, and I know they just released like a 4-minute trailer the other day showing off more stuff. I'm actually pretty sold on this game. I think the game looks really good.
Yeah, the game looks really fun from all the stuff that I've seen of it. I think I might have stepped away from my computer during this part. I don't remember much about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game that they presented. Do you remember?
No,
you don't?
Not a thing. We could move on, yeah.
All right.
Here's one you were excited about.
Yeah, they said that this. So what they said when they showed this is it was the Hellblade 2. They were like, not only is this a cutscene, it's also actual gameplay.
Right.
And everything seemed to have just like melded into each other, and it was really cool. Showing how you're fighting these monsters. It also showed a very key aspect of the game, especially that happened a lot in the first one, is I don't know if you remember, Joe, but the Hellblade game played a lot with mental health.
Right.
So the main character, Senua, has like I guess she deals with depression. I don't remember if it was schizophrenia, but she hears voices in the game itself. They tell you to play with headphones so you could hear the voices in her head talking to you while you're playing the game. And I don't know if you watched the trailer, you heard those voices.
I heard some whispers, yeah.
Yeah, the whispers of like, you're bringing all these people to their death. Like if you die, it's not a big deal, but if they die, it's a bigger deal because you're doing this. You're not going to make it. You're going to die. This is going to happen. It was like all these doubts and stuff that were happening while she was fighting that huge, like, giant monster that I thought was a baby at first. But like, yeah, it looked so cool. It looked so smooth, and all the animation looked great in it. Yeah,
they definitely had like the UI was hidden also, you know what I mean? Like, which is fine. Yeah. They're actually trying to make it as cinematic as possible for the trailer. It's not a downside, but like, I'm sure there has to be some visual on the screen that says like press R1 to throw thing at large man, like other prompts on the health and whatever on the screen. So because at first I did think it was just a movie trailer. I just thought it was a cutscene trailer. But then when she you can actually see in the moment, like she picks the stick up or the javelin up, whatever, and then like holds it for a second because like they were waiting for the person holding controller to hit X to throw it and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. I was just saying, like, there's definitely hidden UI in the trailer.
Well, from what I saw from the first one, I haven't really like played a lot of the first one. I have it and I need to, but there actually isn't a lot of UI in the game. Like, there isn't a lot to go off of. Like, there isn't a health bar. There's like things that you use that you get later, like I think it's like spells or like abilities and stuff, but there isn't a lot of that present. Like, I think the way your health gets shown is by how, like, kind of like how COD does it, where like blood kind of fills the screen. Mm-hmm. I think that's how they mainly did it, but there isn't a lot of that like thing. So it could be that could actually be a lot of the gameplay, nothing really hidden, just straight gameplay.
Oh, I could see it. Now this next
But
one, Joe, I was shocked about because, to be completely honest, while watching it, we're talking about the Halo TV show. I really did think it was just like a Halo ad, essentially. Like they just paid to have a trailer of Halo because Halo Infinite had just come out, right? And so we're watching the trailer, like, okay, John 117, it's got a big ship and all these people and blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, cool. And I just moved on with my life. I was like, all right, nice little Halo ad in the middle of the Game Awards. I literally had no idea that this was announcing the TV show on Paramount Plus until the end when they showed the Paramount Plus logo, and I was like, wait a second, Paramount Plus isn't a console to play Halo on. That's a TV service. Oh my god, this is the Halo TV show.
How crazy would it have been if you're like, oh wait a minute, you can play Halo Infinite on Paramount Plus?
Take that, Hulu.
Take that, Hulu and Amazon.
Oh,
but no, yeah, to be completely honest, I can understand why you would have thought that, because Halo does do a lot of live action trailers. They did a lot of live action trailers and advertisements for Halo Infinite, like leading up to the release of the game. But yeah, the show looks pretty exciting. This next one, everybody's been talking about it. We've been seeing a lot of stuff. They showed more.
I know you're gonna play it.
I might play it. They showed more Elden Ring. The game looks interesting. I'm kind of interested in it, but at the same time, I kind of don't want to play it. Hit or miss. But we've already I feel like we've beaten this game into the ground at this point. It just needs to come out. We've seen so much stuff about this game.
Yeah, there was like an 8-hour demo or something that content creators got to play of Elden Ring a couple weeks ago, and there's been a bunch of trailers, and it's almost here.
It's almost here. It's coming. We're gonna move on. We slightly talked about this next one, Sonic Frontiers.
Yeah, baby.
Coming out in when? The late 2022.
Late 2022. Yeah.
So we're looking forward to that. And now that I'm reading this thing at the bottom, it's coming out for Nintendo Switch, PlayStation consoles, Windows, Xbox. We got it covered.
Now, my only concern is when they say late 2022, it's going to come out too late next year and won't be eligible to win Game of the Year that it rightfully deserves. That's my worry.
Oh, but then it'll take it in 2023.
Okay, fine.
We could take it a year later. We can grab it.
I love how it's not open world, Joe. Do you see the description?
Where is it? First ever open zone inspired. I love it. Love it. I prefer zone instead of world at this point.
That's funny though. Trying to stand out from the rest of the crowd.
Trying to be real. Man, I'm excited about it, but I'm kind of getting tired of open worlds, man.
I know.
I'm tired of it.
It's an open world epidemic for you. It's just too much going on right now.
There's so much to do in them. Make them a little smaller. You can still have an open world. Just don't make it enormous.
Okay. I'll do my best.
Moving on. We got Slitterhead. We already kind of talked about this.
Nope. I'm out.
It's a horror game coming out. Looks real cool. Reminded me a little bit of Dead Space, but it looked real cool.
Like Silent Hill too, also, right?
Oh, I think it's by one of the creators of Silent Hill.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah.
Yeah, I saw that lady. I was like, oh, that's a cute lady. Oh my god. That was my reaction.
Yeah, I saw that lady and I was like, oh, there's a bunch of eyeballs coming out of her mouth. Gross.
Hate when that happens.
Hate when that happens when I meet a nice lady. Then we have the Gollum game. We've been hearing about it. We've just been hearing these whispers about it, and they finally showed us some cinematic trailer of it, which is fine. At least they're showing me something. Gollum looks real cool. I'm real excited about it.
He does look pretty cool. That trailer, I obviously the original Lord of the Rings trilogy is lauded for its visuals and still looks pretty good to this day, 20 years later. But that trailer, it looked really good.
It looked real good, and then it also says that it's slated to come out later in 2022. So we'll be looking out for that, playing as Gollum and Smeagol. And then, of course, we got more official story. We got the official story trailer for Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which I'm excited.
I know. I'm trying to find it right now.
Stuff.
Hold on. I'm playing the trailer because it's okay. It's so what I like, because every time I see this game, I think of you because I know you're excited for it. And so she's not playing Dungeons and Dragons, Joe.
You're playing Dungeons and Badasses.
No, she's playing Bunkers and Badasses.
Oh, yeah, because there is a DLC that you play. Yeah, there's. I knew it's not Dungeons and Dragons.
No, I just think it's funny. I think it's a funny reference, you know?
Yeah, because there was the DLC for Borderlands 2 where you play this whole game is inspired off of a DLC that came out.
Yeah.
Like several years ago, where you play as the characters in Borderlands 2 who play in Tina's campaign that she makes, and it's a spoiler alert. It's all to get over Roland's death because of how important he was to her. But yeah, it's what was it? Say it again, Joe Brown.
Bunkers and Badasses.
Yeah, because you know the whole thing with Borderlands, and like the top tier enemies are badasses, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that makes a lot of sense.
It's funny. I love the Borderlands humor. It's so funny.
I love it. I just wish their CEO dude wasn't a. Anyway, moving on. What's the next one, Joe Brown?
This actually might be the biggest announcement in video game history, if you've ever been on the internet, Joe. And that's the fact that Among Us has a VR trailer for MetaQuest.
I think it's also out. I saw gameplay of it. People playing it.
You can play virtual reality Among Us.
Man, I'm gonna let you know, I stopped playing that game like over a year ago.
I played it like maybe like 7 rounds total, and it was just like it's just not fun because you have like, we would have people in our party, in our group of like, we had 9 or 10 people, and these 2 guys like just always went together everywhere, every single round. So therefore, if one of them wasn't an imposter, then the other one wasn't an imposter. So like, because they're best friends in real life, so you were kind of like using outside influences that were influencing the meta of the actual game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like, it was just annoying. It's like, okay, well, there goes 2 people every time. So now if I'm an imposter and those 2 aren't, well, then that instantly makes my odds even harder to win, because people say, yes, I can confirm those 2 were together the whole time while this killing happened. And like, so that was kind of annoying. And I also just don't like lying and, playing the mafia style games. And so it's just not really my cup of tea.
Yeah, it becomes a little bit stressful. Like, you get a little mad while doing it. Like, I understand. I played it and I was kind of like, I'm tired of getting mad.
Yeah, I would get mad. But now that it's in VR, Joe, I still have absolutely no interest in playing it.
Yeah, it looks a lot more difficult too, which is fun, but at the same time, I ain't about it. I don't even remember this one, the Star Trek Resurgence game. Don't even remember seeing that at all.
Okay. I will. So we read off: Star Trek Resurgence is third-person choice-driven game set in the Star Trek universe, coming in 2022 from Dramatic Labs, a studio made up of Telltale game veterans. So that's going to be important because we're going to see another game later on. So it's not Telltale, it's people who left Telltale. So they're essentially making a Telltale Star Trek game with your stories matter and whatnot.
Yeah, per usual. That seems pretty cool. We got another game called Ark Raiders that apparently a lot of people have been waiting to see and hear about. I hadn't heard about it.
I don't know. Player versus environment shooter.
Yeah, it kind of seems like a survival-esque type game where you have to go in and like survive on a planet and fight your surrounding area, which seemed pretty interesting, but I don't know if I really grabbed it. Joe, since you are our Riot Games fanboy, want to take this one?
Yes. Okay. So, the way I've kind of explained it to people is they made this music playlist from Riot Games of Riot music and different things for content creators to use. It's an album of all copyright free music. So if you're a streamer, you're not going to get DMCA'd for playing this music. So I kind of explain it. It's like a League of Legends music to listen / study to chill beat. What, you know that YouTube thing?
A lo-fi, like
lo-fi League of Legends music to study to, or it's kind of like that. You just have it on in the background and chill. And I guess it's quote unquote starring Diana, for lack of a better word, because Diana's all about the moon, and it's at nighttime, and you see the moon throughout the trailer very prominently focused and stuff. What was ironic was, so Riot has had DMCA free playlists for a while now on Spotify and YouTube and other places that streamers could use, but some of the issues are like you can't listen to KDA songs, you can't listen to some other specific songs because they're made in collaboration with other studios like Warner Media or Sony or something like that. You know what I mean? So, so you can't use those, but you can use like a character's introduction screen theme song is all Riot. So they've had issues in the past with people still getting DMCA'd while using this specific DMCA friendly thing. And literally the day that they announced the Sessions Diana DMCA free playlist, they had to tweet that they were removing songs from the original DMC free playlist because people were incorrectly getting copyright striked for it. So it's a work in progress.
Yeah, we're a work in progress. But it's pretty cool. I put some on while you were talking. The songs sound really nice, and the videos look really cool themselves. Diana is in pretty much every single one of the videos,
and she's like younger or something. She looks kind of like a teenager almost. Yeah, right?
It looks like a coming of age story. It seems like through these videos. I don't know about you, Joe Brown, but I'm pretty excited about this next topic. The Matrix, Resurrection and Awakens. I've been waiting after I heard that they were making a fourth movie. I've been waiting for it to come out. I'm excited for it to come out. It actually, I think, comes out the day that we're going to be hanging out when I come home.
Yes.
On HBO Max. And then they showed what they said they're working on a new Matrix game, Matrix Awaken, and it's going to be in the Unreal.
Well, it's like an interactive experience, so it's not like a full-fledged $60 game. Like it's a thing you go into a website and you get into the world, and it's kind of like a promotional event.
Gotcha. But it was like in what, the Unreal Engine 5? Is that what they said it was?
Yeah.
So that seems pretty cool. And I'm excited about that. The Matrix games are really cool themselves, and we had our good friend Keanu Reeves there. He was talking about it, and we had the lady who plays
Johnny Silverhand or whatever the hell his name was.
Yes,
was that his name?
Johnny, I think Silverarm, because he had a silver arm.
I don't think his last name was Silverarm.
No, that was his name. That's like what they called him because that was his stage name. He was a rock star. In the game.
Right.
But yeah, it's Johnny Silverhand.
Yeah.
But that whole thing looked pretty cool to me. Seen more videos about it, people like driving around in it and stuff like that, and that seemed pretty fun.
I've only ever seen the first The Matrix, and obviously I love the movie. It's fantastic, but like
that's fine.
I'm not really super into the world in the other movies.
Well, if you want to know what happens, at the end of the last movie, Neo sacrifices himself to save the world. Great move on him. So I'm really interested to see how he's alive.
And now he's like back and with not Lawrence Fishburne talking to him.
Well, wait, hold on a minute. There is a big thing that. So this is what makes the Matrix universe really funny to me. Is that if you didn't play the Matrix Online video game, which I don't even know if you remember that happening,
No, I don't.
their servers closed like years ago, but it is canon because of that game that Morpheus gets killed. He gets killed in that game, and it's canon. So that's why Lawrence Fishburne isn't in the movie, because his character got killed in a video game.
That's awesome.
But I'm guessing since they brought back, Neo, they got to bring back Morpheus in a different way. So that'll be interesting. I've loved the Matrix movies. I think I saw them. I saw the first one with my dad, and then I just watched the other ones, and the other ones were good. The second one was really fun to watch because of all the action in it, but like it was good. The first one's the best.
Oh yeah.
But this one seems pretty interesting because I really love it. Have you ever seen the trailer for this yet, Joe Brown? I'm sorry, I'm talking about this a lot, but the whole thing about, you remember in the Matrix, to get out of the Matrix, you need to get on a landline.
Yes.
In the movie, in this new movie, it's all about how everybody's on cell phones.
Oh yeah.
And then you find out the Matrix started making cell phones to prevent people from getting out of it from the landlines.
Oh my god.
Because there's no more pay phones anywhere. There's no more a lot of people don't have landlines anymore. That's like the whole thing of why the cell phone was created, was so that the people could not exit the Matrix.
That's a pretty good, creative way to solve the problem around it, right? Because then people would just say, "Oh, why don't you just use your cell phone to call?" Yeah, like they actually provided a solution to it.
Exactly.
So,
but they had kind of created that in the original one too. Like even in the original one, they had cell phones, but the only way to get out was a landline. That was the only way you could get out.
Right.
But yeah.
So now that Joe is done on his Matrix escapades.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
I love the Matrix.
It's fine. You're passionate about it. That's good. You're gonna have to tell me how the movie is. Up next is a game that actually already dropped. I guess maybe it dropped at the Game Awards, but it's Rumbleverse, which is yet another battle royale with a twist. Which at this point, now you should just make a battle royale shooter, because the battle royale twist genre is getting even more annoying than just the battle royale shooter genre at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so it's a pro wrestling battle royale game where everyone's dressed up as different wrestlers and you hit people with chairs and there's other things. I haven't seen too much. I've seen some clips online, like some Twitch clips that have went around of some crazy things that are happening, and it seems pretty funny. It has some novelty to it. I'm not really interested, and I wonder what its longevity will be as a competitive game, but I hope people enjoy it.
Yeah, it looks pretty interesting, but just like the open world, I'm really tired of the battle royale. There's a big meme joke on the internet about when Halo Infinite was coming out, about how it was going through tests and it refused to become a battle royale, and then it made a joke of like 30-year-old men will love you or whatever, like, because it's
we'll be proud of them.
We'll be proud of them, and it's like, yeah, you're kind of right. 30-year-old men are gonna love you because you're not a battle royale system,
and that's pretty much how it's went down for Halo. It's a lot of 30-year-old men who played Halo when they were 12 that are playing it again. So it's great. An effective strategy. All right, so let's talk about this next one, Joe, because this is obviously a big deal for me. The Expanse, a Telltale series. So while watching this trailer, I was like, oh, this kind of looks like a Telltale game. Like, it had some similar visuals, and I was like, oh, it looks like your choices matter in this game. And I'm like, okay, they're going along. And then it says a Telltale series, and I'm like, wait a second. Didn't a couple years ago, the entire universe end because Telltale broke up and had all those financial problems and life was never the same after that? So it looks like Telltale is making a comeback here. And as I'm reading the description, The Expanse, a Telltale series will be developed by Telltale Games with Life is Strange True Colors studio Deck 9. That is a huge deal. So that must be how Telltale has come back, because they have Deck 9, and Deck 9 is associated with, with Square and everything. So maybe that's where they're kind of like second party. They help with the Life is Strange games. So I'm obviously excited for this, because this means that if Telltale can come back and not be a terrible company and treat their employees horribly, and not spend money properly, if they can actually be a really good organization and game studio, I will be very excited.
Yeah, that would be really exciting, because I'm waiting for
Wolf Among Us
2.
They announced it, remember?
Yeah, they announced it a while ago, and when I saw that, I was like, oh, yeah, here we go. Give me more information, but that game looks really cool. It's like a horror. It looks more of like a horror game, too, which is kind of like up my alley. For some reason, I really like the horror games, but not the horror movies, which is interesting. Joe, you had been talking about this game. Why don't you tell me more about it?
Okay, I'm not going to lie to our audience. I did not see that there was a Tunic trailer and a release date announcement, and I literally texted Joe before the event saying that I really wanted a Tunic announcement. I must have missed it. I don't know if I went to the bathroom or it was in the pre-show and I wasn't watching at the time or something like that. I don't know how I missed it. Whatever. But I'm very excited, because Tunic has been a game that I think they showed at the Game Awards like 3 years ago now or something. That is kind of like year. No, it's been more than a year ago to Tunic being announced. I don't know when, but it was more than 12 months ago that it was announced, because I remember I've been looking forward to it for a while. It's kind of like a top-down. Oh my god, what's the word? Is it isometric? Like the games like Hades and the Supergiant games? Is that the word? That style?
It's like an older.
Your camera's like in that one location, that one angle, and you move around.
Yeah, it's like the top-down Zelda games. It looks almost exactly like it.
Right, and you play as this cute little fox wearing, wait for it, Joe, a tunic.
Yeah, and this game looks fun. I'm excited about it. I think me and you both have talked about how it looks really cool. But yeah, I'm actually surprised that it's not coming out on Nintendo. That would have been I would have definitely picked it up on the Switch.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm gonna have to get it on Steam, I think.
Yeah, we got a release date. We got March 16th. Super cool. I'm excited about it. Joe Brown, your thoughts?
Well, yes, I'm very excited. The game actually looks kind of hard. Hard is not a correct word, but I'll say challenging. I remember during E3, Jeff Keighley was streaming from his house at the end of one of the presentation days. Because remember, he did that Summer of Games event thing for the Game Awards. And so Jeff Keighley was streaming Tunic. Like, I guess he got a code from the developers, maybe some early access thing, I don't know, that they were letting him stream for like 2 hours, and I watched it, and it was actually, I don't know if he's just a scrub or it was actually challenging, but he was dying a lot in some of the battles and solving puzzles while fighting enemies and things. So I am super duper excited for Tunic. There is another game coming out that week that we'll talk about at the end. It's not on the list, Joe. I just know the release date of it, and I'm going to tell you about it. So it will be a little complicated for me to be able to play both of those games, but I'm happy we have a release date finally for Tunic. Up next, we have Homeworld 3. I, to be honest, don't remember anything about this, Joe. Do you have any memory?
I just remember they showed a lot of flying through space. There wasn't a lot of it was a lot of space flying and stuff, and a lot of big ships doing a lot of big things. And I never really played any of the other games, so I don't really know a lot about them. But it's the first look at the gameplay for the game. All I can tell you, it's a follow up from their other two games. Right.
Yeah, and wasn't Homeworld that big meme during the Telltale presentation at E3? Not Telltale, sorry, the other one. Oh my god, the Borderlands people. Why can't I think of their name? Gearbox, thank you. Remember the Gearbox presentation? They kept just like randomly showing off Homeworld stuff. Or am I thinking of another game? I might be thinking of another game. Don't listen to me.
I think you might be thinking of another game.
Don't worry. I have the wrong name.
Don't worry. We don't know what we're talking about. Anyway, This next one, I don't know a lot about either. Crossfire. Joe, you know anything about this one?
No,
Besides that it comes out in February.
I remember this trailer as I'm looking at it, but no, I don't know I don't remember anything about it.
Bada bing, bada boom. It looks like a. Let me dive into this. It's like a shooter, and it's like a shooter game, but some people use samurai swords or whatever, and some people have like camouflage that makes them invisible, and I can't tell if it's a multiplayer game or if it's a story-based video game, but it's coming out in February on the 10th if anybody's interested in it.
There you go.
Look out!
I do remember the next game though, Joe.
I remember it too, and I wasn't the biggest fan of it.
No, yeah, it's Nightingale, which is from Improbable Edmonton Studio. Was called that. Now it's called Inflection Games, a survival game set in a fantasy Victorian era. Again, with the scary monsters with monstrous human faces in a shared world. Nightingale launches in early access on Windows PC next year. So it was kind of like, it was this Victorian era game with, I don't know if it was time travel or like rift walking where you could go through different parts of the world or something, and everyone had their own gimmick, obviously, and there were different types of Victorian outfits and weaponry and whatnot. I appreciate the niche that they're going for, but it's not really something I'm interested in playing.
It reminded me of what was that game called? Something Ash or Ash something. Remnant from the Ashes. That's what it's called. It kind of reminded me of that game a little bit from what the gameplay kind of showed, and from like playing with other people and like going through these different worlds together. It kind of reminded me of that for some reason.
Okay.
But yeah. Don't know why we're kind of still talking about this game. It's Battlegrounds for All.
What do you mean? You love PUBG, Joe?
It's now free to play, so the money that I spent on it 4 or 5 years ago.
They're gonna pay you back, right?
Nope.
But can you imagine? Oh my god, that would be so funny. Oh, interception. Yeah. Okay, anyway, continue, Joe.
Football. Then we got the great game Cuphead. I think this was the coolest presentation.
Yeah, with the music and stuff.
Yeah, it had the old-timey singers and band playing. At first I thought that the band wasn't actually playing because I was watching the drummer, and the drummer seemed a little bit sketchy, but then it turned out that he was actually playing. But yeah, it's a DLC that's coming out. You're going to a new island. I don't remember the female Cuphead.
No, I think she's new to the DLC, right?
Like I remember dealing with her and her giving you like upgrades and stuff, but yeah, it looks pretty fun. I don't know if I'm going to play it. The game was really hard for me. I kind of got sick of it, but for people who enjoy Cuphead, it looks real fun.
Oh my god. Joe,
we made it.
No, hold on. I did not know it until reading the description. Thank you to this Polygon article. It's called Cuphead, The Delicious Last Course, because it's Cuphead DLC, Delicious Last Course.
Love it. Love these guys. They're so funny, actually. Now that
did not realize that. Am I just like a moron?
Nah, I didn't realize it either. It's
a good
maybe
move
we're
on both
Cuphead.
Morons, Joe.
Yep, that's it. We got it in one, folks. Joe Brown, Joe Perrin, two dumb idiots on the podcast.
What else is there to be said about Sonic the Hedgehog 2? You know what? Actually, there are a lot of things to be said. Thank you for asking, Joe. Anywho, as I say, I'm just gonna say it. I'm not into Idris Elba as Knuckles. It's weird that he's got a British accent. Like, I'm used to a beefy, dumb American guy accent for Knuckles for 20 years now, and it's weird that he's all like sultry and British now for no reason.
I understand. I get it. But I'm willing to listen to it because it sounds kind of cool. I'm all about it. Knuckles used to be and I guess not used to be. He's still one of my favorite characters.
I was gonna say, rest in peace. Is there some spoilers I'm not aware of, Joe?
I still love the character. I think he's very cool. And I'm excited to see how it goes. Like maybe you might like it, Joe Brown. Maybe it's like a whole new adaptation of it. I'm excited to get my boy miles per hour back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, baby. I'm along for the ride. Listen, Joe, I'm just gonna live it up to the. I'm not gonna be over analytical. I'm not gonna be like, oh, well, this story beat doesn't make and nothing. I am along for the ride. I'm gonna eat a chili dog as I watch.
Yeah, like they are bringing back the storyline of most of Sonic's life with Knuckles, which is Eggman steals the Master Emerald and then blames the Sonic, and then Knuckles and Sonic fight, and then Knuckles like, oh wait, you don't have the Master Emerald?
Oh, my bad.
Oh, my bad. Big, dumb echidna going after a hedgehog.
As nature intended, you know?
As nature intended. I'm excited. I'm excited that Jim Carrey is going to be our good Eggman boy with that big mustache. I'm excited about it. Brown, tell me that you're excited about it.
I am absolutely excited about it. I think Jim Carrey's weird Scottish grandfather bit did not land with me as much as it did for the live audience. Remember, it was like...
Yes, I do.
It was a little weird. So that took away some excitement, but... I'm still very excited. I'm trying to pull up a tweet. So one of my friends from Pokemon DC, he made a tweet during the Game Awards where he said, would have preferred the Sonic 2 movie to just be about Sonic and Tails, and the Sonic 3 movie to introduce Knuckles in a two halves of a film that eventually lock onto each other for one complete experience. Because, you had Sonic 3 and then Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and, and Sonic 2 was Sonic and Tails. Just, if we wanted to be authentic, we need two halves of the Sonic 3 movie. It's lock them together, and that's how you get the story of Knuckles.
Yeah, the classic Sega moves here. But we're here at the Cup of Joe's industry. We are pumped. Listen, I'm trying to like get us bigger, man. Trying to get us some sponsorships. Don't worry about it. We are excited for the Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Grab yourself a chili dog. Get ready for that Knuckles on Hedgehog action, and we are here for it. We are here. Bring me that two-tailed fox. Fly that plane. Go and dodge those missiles. Let's do it. I'm for it.
Oh my god, you're inspiring me to buy more of the Sonic Peach Ring G Fuel cans because I love those. I don't know if you ever had that flavor. It's like
nope.
It is simply divine, Joe.
Listen, I'm not a gamer. I don't drink G Fuel.
That's true.
I don't even know what that stuff is. I just thought it was like a protein shake for gamers, but
it's more energy drink than protein shake.
Nah, I don't want it then. It's gross.
No, it's delicious.
Anyway.
I had Crash Bandicoot. I drank Wampa Fruits. Wampa Fruits aren't even real, Joe, and I drank them.
Yeah, Crash Bandicooties, if you know what I mean. Anyway, I'm saying we got another game that showed up at the Game Awards called Thirsty Suitors, something that I seem to have found interesting because it looks kind of interesting and funny to me. It's by an indie publisher. I am not going to say this right.
Annapurna
Games.
The movie people, they've been making games. They made that 12 Minutes game, Annapurna.
I need to play that game. Anyway,
they make movies.
They make movies. Thank you. Release Outer Loop Games. Next title: Thirsty Suitors, and tackle relationships and family dynamics. As it says in the article, frankly, it looks incredible. There's fighting, skateboards, and cooking, among much more. I think it was supposed to say much more. But,
yeah.
We're just here for a good time, not a long time, if you know what I'm saying.
Although it has been a long time too. It's been both.
It has been. And then the last announcement on this article, that's considered to be one of the biggest ones of the night, is the Dune game that's being made.
I knew it right away. Literally, I saw sand, Joe, and I was like, "Oh, I think this is a Dune game." Like, I didn't, we didn't see the name, and like the narrator wasn't really saying Dune or Spice or anything at that point. and I called it right away. So I think I should get some credit that I knew right away it was a Dune game.
Okay, you can get some credit, Joe Brown.
Thank you.
You can get all the credit you want.
A real-time strategy game with 4X elements, meaning explore, expand, exploit, and exterminate.
Exterminate these nuts. Got him.
Got him. Dude.
And that kind of sums up the biggest announcements of the night from what we've kind of gathered. Is there anything else you want to talk about, Joe Brown?
Well, we didn't gather it. Polygon gathered it.
Polygon gathered it, but this was the best announcement that we thought so far off of other articles that we've read. Polygon did.
Yeah, this was the best one we found. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the best one we found.
So I have two final points, Joe, to talk about regarding Game Awards 2021, and they all revolve around me, not the actual games. Number one, I am a failure. Okay, I'm just an absolute failure.
Long for the ride, but okay, let's hear where this goes.
Okay.
Continue.
And number two, I'm going to tell you all at the same time. I am also a legend, and I came through in the clutch at the same time, and you're going to understand. So, I'm a failure because that day, that morning, I stupidly put on my Zelda t-shirt and thought I was somehow going to manifest Zelda at the Game Awards, and I texted you about it, if you remember. I thought, I was like, all right, if I wear my Zelda shirt today and I wear it all day, maybe that's going to put something in the world, and Miyamoto's going to be like, all right, he's interested. He's down. Let's reveal Breath of the Wild to let's show off more stuff. Because I was like, hey, they showed off Bayonetta 3. They've showed off other Nintendo games. You know, my boy Reggie's going to be in the crowd. Like, there was a chance. And then we got no Zelda news. So I was very sad that I was not able to will that into existence, right?
Yeah.
So that's where I'm a failure. That's where I'm just a garbage human being that doesn't deserve anything. On the other end of the spectrum, I am the ultimate success because I was texting my friend Regina because she plays all the Persona games, and, you know, Shin Megami Tensei 5 came out and whatnot. She keeps me in the loop on Atlas and Persona and stuff because I played Persona 4 and Persona 5, and I really enjoyed those games. I liked 4 more than 5. There used to be a Persona fighting game on, I think, the PS3 generation of consoles called Persona 4 Arena that had the Persona 4 characters, Persona 3, some of their side things. Like, it was like a Persona fighting game, like, you know, Dragon Ball Fighters or Street Fighter. You know, it was a fighting game around Persona universe. And I never played it because I wasn't a fan back in the day. So I was talking with her because this year's the 25th anniversary of is it Atlas as a whole or Persona as a whole? Whatever it is. Atlas is promoting, because this is the 25th anniversary, and they have a whole bunch of announcements, special like vinyl collection and t-shirts and all these things. So I was like, wouldn't it be cool if we got a new Persona fighting game? And I was like, you know, you could have all the P5 characters and yada, yada, yada. And she's like, oh, that would be so awesome. And then that was a couple weeks ago we talked about this. And then at work that day, where I'm wearing my stupid Zelda shirt, I put music on, and I'm like, all right, what do I want to listen to? And usually I listen to a lot of like game soundtracks because they keep me in the zone, and there's not usually lyrics, so it's like, you know, it's instrumental, and it's a good time. And I just happened to play the Persona 4 OST while I was at work, right? And what happens later that night? They announce Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, which is essentially like a complete edition of the arcade version of the game that never came out in America. And they announced it before the Game Awards that day. And it's coming out that same week that Tunic is coming out. So I was not able to will Zelda into existence, but I did manifest Persona fighting game into existence. So you're welcome.
I appreciate it. Thank you for doing all of that for us. The world thanks you.
Don't you think that's
Joseph.
crazy? What are the odds, Joe?
What are the odds? What are the odds? I don't know. Do you?
I'm just a businessman and a miracle worker.
You're just the man, the myth, the legend that made this happen. And I thank you. We all thank you for what you've done.
Thank you. No, when you thank me, I say no. Thank you. Thank the little people along the way. You know, never forget the little people when you make it.
Yeah, and you've made it.
I sure have. I saw a video game got announced on Twitter, and that means I have made it.
You came, you saw, and you conquered, my boy. You did it.
So I'm gonna play, and we're gonna get destroyed by people who've been playing this fighting game for like 10 years. But
10 years because it never came out in America.
Well, the base version came out in America, but the arcade like updated version with updates to the characters and moves and how the game plays and whatnot was only in Japan arcade like cabinets. So this is a new thing for the rest of the world.
Take it, world. Take it.
Okay.
I got nothing else for you. I don't know a lot about what you're talking about.
I just thought you'd be proud of me that I willed something into existence.
I'm super proud of you for finally manifesting something. There's a lot of there is a lot of other things that you could have manifest to help you personally out, but I'm glad you did this instead.
One crisis at a time, Joe. Okay.
This was a way better move on your part. Like very proud of the fact.
Oh, I feel so accomplished.
I'm glad you do. At least someone feels accomplished right now. I'm glad it's you.
Oh, Jesus, Joe. All right. Do you have any other thoughts or no?
No. The only other thing I have is thanks for joining us on another great episode of Cup of Joe's. I have been your host, Joe Perry, and accompanied by my good friend, some would say best friend, Joe Brown. And we will catch you on the next episode of Cup of Joe's.
Metroid Dread, #got shorted.